Krabbies and kinglers are water-type Pokemon with exoskeleton that allows them to dive deep into the ocean depth without being crushed by immense water pressure. They're also characterized by giant claws that they mostly use to cut through fishing lines and six-pack rings that get left behind by beachgoers. It's a well-known fact that a lot of these creatures tend to walk sideways, as if they're skateboarding without skateboards. That's just how their anatomies operated for the most part. It wasn't until a few decades ago that suddenly, a crop of new Krabbies capable of walking forward came about. Most were shocked and disgusted by this unnatural display. The kingler parents were afraid that there was something wrong with their kids. They maintained this stance even after myriads of medical exams proved that their children were healthy. Some even took it upon themselves to redirect these Krabbies, believing that this behavior can be corrected. But it proved to be a waste of time, seeing as how few of them learned to fake it while most of them failed. Kingler sent these Krabbies to conversion camps in hopes that someone else would be able to correct their gait, but they also failed to meet their expectations. Most of the population disapproved of Krabbies that could walk forward, and soon this disapproval turned into prejudice. They called them fronties, and this term caught on like wildfire amongst the younger generation. These fronties were often bullied by their classmates for being different. Then they would return home and be ignored by their parents, who would pretend that their children were invisible. Needless to say, many of these Krabbies experienced depression at an early age. Day after day, they were ridiculed by their peers and their parents refused to acknowledge their existence. In an age where they're starved for compassion and understanding, they got none. They had nobody to rely on, and their anguish soon turned to self-hatred. Some of the fronties would leave their homes, taking their chances out in the wilderness. They thought it'd be better than staying in a loveless household, waiting for their parents to change their minds. Tragically, most of them got hunted down by pelippers and octilleries. These young Krabbies are still in their developmental stage, meaning they're easy pickings for any predatory Pokemon. Enough was enough. Unable to stand the repeated tragedy of the fronties, the silent minority amongst the kinglers started to raise their voices. They fought to normalize the existence of Krabbies that walked forward and preached acceptance. And as with many movements that dealt with prejudice, there was a lot of friction at first. In certain cases, their opposition openly displayed their objections through violent means. But the fronties movement stayed vigilant and resilient. They continued to preach acceptance despite all the hatred and violence directed towards them. And soon, they started to win the hearts of kinglers and Krabbies, one after another. Their movement started to gain quite a bit of momentum. And thanks to decades of hard work and sacrifice, the fronties are now able to experience the sort of love and affection that they desperately crave from those around them. While there were still many kinglers and Krabbies that openly disapproved of their existence, at least both sides agree on one issue: that Krabbies born with 3 claws are the real menace. What disgusting, absolutely revolting creatures. I'm Drunk, and this Pokemon. Please speed to subscribe and commenting like for a Pokemon. Have a Pokemon and good day. Good for you. Hit notification